Mavs fan here, trade AD for as much as you can ASAP. Get a pick or two, an expiring contract, and a young player, and move on. AD is exactly who Dallas fans thought he was. Start fresh around Flagg. Now, I got to ask y'all, because, Jordan, I know you don't call yourself a fan. Mars, you don't necessarily call yourself like a team fan in particular. Damo, you strolled to the fence. Lakers fan, I think you're like a Laker hater now because of whatever. Y'all, I'm not going to lie. If I traded Luka and I got this AD back, and you playing like this, and you ain't never playing, I will be hot, and I would absolutely want him to get out of there.
I'm just telling you, like, y'all, I think people are just reacting right now because I think the Luka was so bad, but like, bro, you made the decision. Now stand on your decision. Like, let's.
No,
just
they didn't make that decision. Nico made it, got fired. They didn't want this.
I mean, sure, but you got AD. Wait,
they don't want AD,
get back.
But the fans don't want him. That's what I'm saying.
I don't give a shit what the fans want. They didn't want to trade Luka. They don't obviously give a shit what the fans want.
No, well, I'm saying as a fan, though, he's speaking as a fan. You're saying, Jordan, you as a fan who didn't want to trade your best player, second best player ever, in the middle of right before their prime starts to the Lakers, nonetheless, for an injured older center who's not playing currently now, well, like averaging 19 a game. You're saying as a fan that you would not be angry and upset?
I'm saying the Mavericks' problem is obviously health issues right now. Derek Lively is hurt. AD is hurt.
Out for the season.
Kyrie Irving is hurt. Like, you don't know what y'all look like full strength. Y'all have no idea. Y'all have yet to see it. So we don't even know if the trade was good.
Obviously, so if Luka ends up not getting traded and you lose Derek Lively for the season, I mean, are we still? But you just have Luka, so that's the difference. Like, we didn't trade Luka.
Well, yeah, you would have your best player who's a better player and a younger player.
They have to trade him, Joe. They have to trade him.
Yeah,
they're not good enough to compete, but they definitely do. But you're right that they could wait. The cost of waiting, however, is that if Kyrie comes back, presumably you win a lot more games. If you win a lot more games and you risk another Anthony Davis injury, i.e., you get bounced in the playoffs, you also lose your little lottery pick here that you have going for you right now. In a very competitive Western Conference, you do have your own pick. That is a saving grace here. There's a lot of teams that are really bad right now that don't have their own pick. They have their own pick.
With that strategy because I don't
like. This is the only year they have their pick.
Losing
they don't have them in the future.
Exactly. 2028, OKC has a right to swap. So you won't want to be bad in 2028. Otherwise, we're having the same conversation with OKC. Oh my God, OKC going to get, I don't know, some great player. Okay.
So blow this thing up is what you're saying. I want to make sure I'm following you guys.
But I understand what Jordan's saying too about the timing.
Blow this thing up. This draft here is going to be a good draft, and whatever we get in this draft, whether it's a lottery pick, a top 5 pick, a top 10 pick, and we're going to build around Cooper Flagg and whomever we get in the draft. Is that what we're saying?
Sure, and whatever we get back in the Anthony Davis trade. So, I mean, presumably with AD, right, he's still a very good player. You're going to get back at least a couple first-round picks, maybe a young player, maybe an expiring. That's what they're looking to do. They're also a very expensive team, Joe. They're a very expensive team. They're looking to shed some salary here. So
the NBA championship logic is over. We're done with that. So if
that was over when Kyrie got hurt.
Sure.
That was over when Kyrie got hurt.
Not 1980. Teams don't win starting rookies anymore. When's the last time that's happened? When is the last time a team won a championship starting a rookie in a prominent top 3 offensive role?
I mean, to be fair, he didn't say they was gonna win one this year. He said with 3-year window. So can we wait till the window end at least?
35-year-old Anthony Davis, 35-year-old Kyrie Irving.
I'm glad you said window. I'm glad you said window, Jordan.
Right now,
because when you plan out a window, ideally that window will be open longer than 2 minutes. Because when you're trying to talk about players on timelines that are compatible, you're talking about guys like Shea and Alex Caruso, 26, 30. You're talking about guys like, I don't know, Michael Jordan and Bill Cartwright. Okay. Like they're close enough in age. We can make it work, right? If you look at the Sacramento Kings, the early 2000s, Portland Trailblazers, early 2000s, those were teams that had 3, 4, 5-year windows to be competitive, right? A team like Dallas, they need Cooper Flagg to be much better than he currently is to get to that level. But they also need Anthony Davis and Kyrie to maintain. The best you could hope for is if you do everything right, Derek Lively come back healthy, Daniel Gafford, he's healthy. AD is
Second year in a
amazing.
row.
Kyrie
So,
and Cooper Flagg progresses rapidly. Like we're talking
Yeah,
rapid
but
ascension.
I also got a counterpart to that is because I feel like when you got young players like Cooper Flagg and you have so much inconsistency and so much turmoil with roster changes and things like that, and let no vets because you're probably gonna trade these guys, get some young guys. That's not good for his development. In a perfect world, right? Or not even a perfect world.
You can bring in vets.
You could definitely ruin them.
Yeah, in the real world, this is a great scenario for me. Like I would like to see AD and Kyrie on the floor at the same time. I would also like to see Derek Lively and Gafford with them as well too.
But
with
Lively
Cooper
out for the
Flagg.
year.
Not on the floor at the same time, but I would like for that to work out. And then we work with Cooper, AD, Kyrie, and see what we got. Because going forward next year, that'll be it might not be a championship trio, but only one team can win a championship anyway. So it may be a working piece so we can get Cooper Flagg to this point of excellence to where Cooper Flagg is looking like a valuable piece. And maybe along that timeline, if we just be patient a little bit, maybe they can develop something.
Jordan, payday loans have the worst interest rate for a reason.
Yeah, but it does. I mean, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
The closer you get to the deadline,
you keep starting your dream over, you're never gonna get to your dream.
But
it's never gonna happen.
But this ain't the dream, Jordan. The dream was Luka. They traded away the dream, and now they woke up in a nightmare.
Well,
so
clearly it wasn't because they looked at him and thought that we couldn't win
with
with
him. It doesn't make no sense. Like you just gonna end up having the Mavericks in the same conversation 7 years from now.
It's not the same conversation because you need to restock your assets. Number one, and number two, the closer you get to the deadline. Now, again, time is not necessarily on your side if it doesn't go well. If it does go well, you're rolling into a situation where you run out of options and then everybody knows you're desperate. If you're a bad team when Kyrie comes back,
about that now, Penn.
Kyrie's older. They're going to need some time to gel. Kyrie's never played with Cooper. How do you know they don't go on a 5-game losing streak? In the West, 5-game losing streak, you're out of the playoffs. My point is you've already started so far behind the 8 ball. The closer you get to the deadline, if teams know you have to sell, right? Because they know you're going to tank and you're not tanking with AD at 33 years old because AD about to turn 33 this year. Now the offers will lower because the value will be suppressed because you'll be more desperate. Look at what happened with the Raptors a couple years ago. They held on to OG and Pascal until the last minute, and then teams were like, we're not going to give you the most value. So right now,
it doesn't matter. It's presumed that value that they're going to get is going to turn into something great. Like
I don't think the value of AD is great right now either.
Huh?
I get what you're saying. I don't think the value of AD is that great right now either because he's injured and, he's missed some time and there's Achilles conversations and he looks bigger and he's got goggles on for the rest of his career. I understand. But with Derek Lively going out for the season, I think that cements that you're not going to be competitive this year. That's the best center on your roster. Respectfully to Daniel Gafford, he's the best.
But to me, Penn, and I know you keep saying this year, to me, it's not just about this year. It's just about building something. It's just about having a foundation. Like with all these moves and take this guy out, move this guy. They don't have any foundation.
But if your foundation is an 18-year-old kid, you got to build with someone younger.
Hold on, because next year they're going to be trying to start another foundation, and it's just like,
no.
Then if that don't work, then it's going to be like, oh, go save Cooper Flagg out of Dallas, and it's like, yo, you have KD. I mean, you have Kyrie and AD. Let those guys work into something. Like, let them build something. Like, to just trade them away because you feel like young guys can save this franchise. I think that's stupid. I don't think it works either. But I'm also a big component of, I've been saying, I don't think tanking works. So I just don't agree with, you don't know what you need until you see your team at full strength and say, okay, we can improve this, improve that, and then we can go a direction. All this guessing, to me, is stupid. To me, all this guessing is stupid.
Okay, there's like 3 important things. One, the Luka trade is done. That should not be part of any of this. That's a sunk cost that has already happened. 2, the foundation they want to build is around Cooper, and they're not trying to build a foundation right now. They're trying to get to where they can build it around Cooper Flagg.
No, it's not. They got lucky with Cooper Flagg. Cooper wasn't part of the plan.
No, we're talking
now.
But chill. Yeah, he's saying now
whether or not they lucked into the #1 pick doesn't matter.
They have Cooper now. That is
so they're going to build around him.
Right now, we're trying to build
so if
the
that's the case, keep going.
And the third important thing is, I think about this AD trade value is a little weird because there's 2 things. more teams are going to be able to trade for him in the summer, this upcoming summer, because of the cap restrictions. And that's usually how it goes with caps, that there's more teams that can maneuver salaries around to accommodate a salary like Anthony Davis in the summer. And the second thing is, yes, his trade value was very low like a couple of weeks ago, and now he's beginning to play himself into form. So I'm kind of seeing here with Penn that it might be one to get our own pick right now to be the lowest it can be, so we can get the best possible prospect to pair with Cooper, because we don't have our picks the next couple of years. So we got to hit it now. We can't wait. Like, if we want to tank, it's got to be now.
What's worth more to you right now? One for one, would you trade Anthony Davis for a top 3 pick this year? Just curious. Yes. Okay, perfect. So basically, when you trade Anthony Davis, because listen, like here, this has to be factored in fully from a team building perspective, the way Dallas is looking at this. If Anthony Davis plays well, you will win games because he is a fantastic player. Okay. When he plays well, you win games. When you win games, your pick worsens. And unless you're hoping that lightning will strike twice, i.e., you're going to move from 11th to 1st or 10th to 1st or 9th to 1st, you probably want to secure yourself at least a guarantee at one of those top 3-4 guys. We're looking at this draft. We're watching college basketball. These guys are amazing. And frankly, what I said the other day holds true. Hitting on one of these guys at the top of the draft, hitting on one of these guys, especially in a draft that is as generational as 2026, it is worth so much downstream. It is worth so much. If you get an AJ DeBonsa or Cam Boozer or one of these guys to pair with Cooper Flagg, now we can undo yes, it's a sunk cost, but we can sort of forget about Luka. We can finally move on. We can say we're building this young team, and we can stop talking about trying to win a championship and defense and AD and Clay and Kyrie. We can move off all that. And oh, by the way, we got these 2 young guys, and we got all the young pieces that we got back in the trade for them. We can be back up and running, planning for a championship around Cooper in 2030.
So the championship
sound good until y'all in 2028, 2029.
That's what I was about to say, Jordan. I want to make sure I'm following you correctly, man, because what it sounds like is it sounds to me like you're telling me.
That's why.
Like Penn, where is Anthony Davis in the pantheon of players in today's game right now in your estimation today?
He's a top 15 player if he's healthy.
Okay, so stay right there. If he's healthy. So the top 3 pick within the next, let's say 5 years, is going to be a top 15 player if he's healthy.
That's could be.
Doesn't have to be.
Look at the top 15 players today, Chill. How many of them were draft picks 5 years ago?
But
Chill, think Cade Cunningham's a top 15 player?
Would that be because that's what I think about when I'm thinking about trading for a guy for a draft pick. I'm thinking you are going to be better than what I got right now over the course of the next 5 years. That's what I'm thinking. All right. So with that being said, either the deal is take the draft picks or what we already have with Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, to Jordan's point and to my point. Let's see what it is.
Mr.
Do we have that kind of timeline? Do we have that kind of timeline to see what it is?
My thing is, why not?
What happens?
My question is, why not?
Who is your GOAT? Remind me again, who is your GOAT? Joe? Who is your GOAT? Yes,
James.
sir.
James.
How old was he when he won his first championship?
26.
How old was Michael Jordan when he won his first championship?
28.
How old was Shaquille O'Neal when he won his first championship?
28.
Okay, cool. So we are planning for Cooper Flagg, 18 years old, plus or minus 6 years from now is when his window opens.
When he won his first championship.
When his window
opens. was 26.
So like
it kind of keeps holding true, and unless you're Kobe Bryant and you end up on the team with Shaq, you're going to be around 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 when you break through. Jokic broke through in that age too. It's very rare that a player is like a generational talent. Look, man, you don't plan to be wrong. Okay, you plan this thing out as if you're going to be right, and you adjust accordingly if it goes bad. So right now, you draft Cooper Flagg number 1. You think he's amazing. You think he's going to be a franchise cornerstone. Cool. Plan to win championships with him, but plan around his timeline. Accelerate the timeline. Give him help. Give him veterans. No one's saying, put him in a Charlotte Bobcats situation. No one's saying that.
That's
put
what's gonna
veterans
happen
around him. No, it doesn't have to happen that way because we don't have a draft picks, Jordan. We
Yeah,
don't have
but-
draft picks from
okay,
this point
okay.
on. So this draft right here represents the last. Look, you got two boats. There are two boats off this island. Okay, boat number one, this draft. Boat number two, trade packages for Clay, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. That's our whole.
Yeah,
that's
but to
our
me-
only
to me, that
path
doesn't
to
make
build
sense.
around Cooper because we already traded all these
That
other
doesn't
damn
make
picks.
to me that doesn't make any sense to me because it's like you're banking on this draft class who haven't done absolutely nothing. You're banking that they're going to be great, and you haven't seen none of these players play.
I choose to believe in things that haven't happened yet. Yes.
Hold on, because you haven't seen any of these players play in the setting, and you said it was generational. I don't think it's a generational talent in this draft class. They're good players. None of these players are generational. But
None?
I will say this:
Not one.
Not one of these players are generational. But I
Okay,
will
good.
say
You
this.
know that Shea was. Wait a minute, though, Jordan. We didn't know Shea was a
Damo, you
generational
seem to
player.
have thoughts about
Yeah.
this, and I know Jordan,
We
and
didn't know
you've been not saying it's a good conversation. You've been talking.
Yeah, but hold on,
we've been yapping
hold
it
on,
up.
Swab, because
Damo,
I wasn't
what
finishing
you
my
gonna say?
point about. I wasn't finishing my point about what Penn was basically saying about you're trying to build around Cooper Flagg and help him win a championship at 26. Well, I got KD. I mean, I got AD. I got Kyrie on the team. I got Klay Thompson. I got PJ Washington on the team. Like I got Derek Lively. I got Gafford. I got great pieces on this team.
You got
All
Lively.
they have to do is hold on. All they have to do, because y'all gonna move the subject every time we bring up these pieces. Y'all move it to a draft picks. Y'all exclude all of this.
Start over.
They want to start over, but at the end of the day, I think the best ideal plan of what we have right now is let's keep this team. Let's see what happens when they get healthy. Let's see how Cooper Flagg fits with them. And if they keep playing good, they could possibly be a championship team. If Cooper Flagg developed to the guy that y'all saying.
Damo's next. Go ahead, Damo.
I would just like to say it is very crazy how we're looking at this situation that they're in and not seeing they can just do both. Why not do both? They have their pick in this year's draft. Honestly, when Kyrie went down, that was a telltale sign. You should have been looking at your season. How Celtics fans were looking at their season when Tatum went down. How Pacers fans looked about their season when Reese went down. It is a gap year. This is the gap year where you do.
I don't think none of those teams was tanking though, Damo.
Again, they weren't tanking at the time, but once their star player went down and they realized, okay, this next year is a gap year. That is what I'm talking about. With the Mavericks, no one is talking about tanking. Please just let me finish. What the Mavericks can do, or in the position to do, traded away Luka Doncic. I understand that it has nothing to do with it. Cool. They get Cooper Flagg. They have their piece to build around for the future, but they also have the opportunity to still be competitive, which a lot of young players do not get the chance to do in their early years. The last great player I think that was able to start his career off being competitive was who? Jason Tatum? Was Tatum the last one that went into a situation where they had vets that had expectations, they wanted to be competitive, but they also had a 3, 4, 5 year plan with their young guys, which was Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and whatever other guys they had at the time that they wanted to believe in got off of it. Cool.
Chet was competitive right away.
So now the Mavericks have Cooper Flagg. They have the season where Kyrie's not there. Now AD's not there. So guess what? We have a chance to tank and get the best opportunity to have a pick in this loaded draft class and just be in the lottery. That's all they need to do. Be in the lottery, take this player, build him along with Cooper Flagg, see if Kyrie and AD can have you be competitive. And if they're not, then move off of them. What is this fascination with moving off of them this year? You have time to move off of them.
That's my point.
Hold on. With the Mavericks, it is still a 3-year window, 4-year window for the young guys in terms of their development. And there's also a 3-year window to see if you can still be competitive. Penn, you alluded to it earlier. They're an expensive team. They are paying players. They are paying players that have expectations. So they still have wiggle room to figure out what they want to do if they see that they aren't competitive. This 2026 season shouldn't even have been seen as a thing of them trying to be competitive in terms of being a Dallas Mavericks fan. Any Dallas Mavericks fan that really is walking away from the season or on Twitter crying with their thumbs about, oh my God, Anthony Davis is out again. Our season's over. It was over when Kyrie got hurt. Shorty, like I don't understand what we're talking about.
Y'all Damo, you saying the same thing I just said. You saying the exact same thing I said.
No,
why are you
also
with him?
I don't understand what the argument is. I don't understand why y'all are still going, because they can do both. They can compete for the next 2 years.
What I said, every time we talk about this is why I said every time we talk about the Mavericks pieces, they always shifted to trade AD and trade. That's
Anthony
why
Davis is 32 years old. The value of a 32-year-old. Hold on. He has a massive injury history, number one. And then he's going to turn 33 in March, which means this year he will be 33. The reason some people, I think the right argument here is to trade him is because the value of a 33-year-old and the risk of potentially a serious injury with Anthony Davis is so large that holding on to him for more value this summer, if that's what you're hoping for.
That's not what Damo's saying.
What I'm saying is, in my opinion, Penn, and I don't mean to cut you off. If I don't mean to do that.
Go ahead.
But all I'm saying is, with Anthony Davis, you've already missed your window of opportunity to get the most value from him because of his injury, because of the fact he got hurt now. Yes. He put on the weight, the perception of him. So you're already not going to be able to sell super high. In my opinion, his value is already depleted. So you're getting what you, in my opinion, you get.
The value is the value is two ways. So listen, like if Damo, if you in the desert and you haven't drank water in 3 days, how much could I sell a glass of water to you for?
I'll probably
everything you got, everything you got, right? But if you at the mall, I probably couldn't get $2 out of you, and that's the point. In the Eastern Conference right now, with all the gap years you were talking about, there are a lot of teams that see themselves as a potential finalist. That may not be the case next year when Detroit and New York maybe just stamp themselves as the top of the East. Maybe some other teams come up, Orlando, etc. There is whether it's real or not doesn't matter. What matters is what teams think. There are 6 teams right now in the Eastern Conference that legitimately think they can make a run to the finals, and that Anthony Davis being healthy is their ticket. They're a team in the Windy City right now that thinks Anthony Davis is our ticket to the finals. We can go to the finals. Atlanta thinks they can go to the finals with him. Toronto probably thinks they can go to the finals with him. They're the favorites. Atlanta thinks they can go. If he ends up in Detroit, they all think they are him. So the same conversation that we were having about OKC and LA earlier, the desperation of the buyer becomes the advantage of the seller. The Mavericks have the best player in the league, not named Giannis Antetokounmpo, that is currently available. He is 32. He will soon be 33. With an injury history like that, there is always the potential that he turns an ankle, has a year where he's out, and now you're sitting on a 34-year-old coming off of season-ending injury. It is a big risk to take. It is a $55 million contract. He is the 5th highest-paid player in the league. There is absolutely no way you say no to a desperate win-now move from a Detroit Pistons or Atlanta.
All right, well, let's
Jordan, just real quick. Drake said, hold on, Jordan. Drake said $5 super chat, relevant to the conversation. I just think trading AD before seeing him and Kyrie play would be a huge mistake. Adding Kyrie to a defense that good will change everything. So there are some fans seemingly they're on the same side.
I would love to see Jordan, what they look like with Irv in the lineup. I would just love to see what they look like with Irv in the lineup, with AD in the lineup, with PJ in the lineup, with Clay in the lineup, with all of the. I want to see what this group would look like and if the plan that we had originally, if it could work. I would love to see that.
So what do you think this team, like if you're looking right now, what are the chances if the Dallas Mavericks sticks to it? They don't trade away people, Derek Lively's still hurt, and they don't trade for it.
It doesn't look good right now. No, it doesn't.
What is the chance that they, if I were to bet you right now, what are the chances that they win the championship or beat OKC? Is there anyone that would take anything?
They might not even make the playoffs. What are we doing?
Exactly. I know we're talking. It's a
That's
long
not my point, though. That's not my point, though.
And I know we like to see things we have developed, but I think me and Penn's point here is more that it's so unlikely that this will ever work for them to win a championship That's
because he got traded for
other option
if he got traded for anybody else, Jordan, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If he didn't get traded for Luka,
yeah,
I don't think
it's
we
a
would
sunk
be having
cost.
this conversation.
He's also
Like,
not played a lot of the games. He's not played a
traded.
majority of the games too. That's
Michael
part of the
Jordan.
conversation.
So why would a team offer him what y'all think they're going to offer him? That would be my question to y'all.
Because
why do
Anthony
y'all
Davis
think
is a really good player.
Just for information,
think
sake,
about this from a finance perspective and not a basketball
have the same
perspective.
thing with the trades. Like, it's the same risk if I trade for him.
It's also
What if I
biased
trade for AD
optimism.
and he get fatter? Like, so why wouldn't a team why would a team
Biased
offer max
optimism.
value? Like, why would a
Because
team
optimism
offer max
bias.
value for the same issues that you're having? That's why I say let's play devil's advocate.
So I
Because
think we're
why would
arguing
a
this
team
from
do that?
different angles. We're arguing this from different angles. Chill and Jordan, I think you're talking about this as basketball fans. You want to see this 3 great players play together, and I think that that's fair. I think I'm looking at this more from a asset
Business
management,
standpoint. Sure.
business
Yes.
standpoint
Yes.
of what's the
I'll
cost,
see that.
what's the cost,
Chugging
what's
a
the
Sprite is
cost of
crazy.
risk analysis here. And from a risk management perspective, Anthony Davis is a walking red flag, bro. And there is a golden opportunity to trade him right now and get something of great value. You're not going to get what you got for Luke. You're not going to get Luka back. It ain't coming back. So the sunk cost fallacy that Scoot is talking about here. I apologize if I've mispronounced your name there. Is that correct? Drago? My God, man.
It's
always going to be that though, Penn. Like what you keep telling me is that we already traded Luka, so let's just get past that.
It has nothing to do with Luka.
Luka
Luka is not part of
always
it.
going to be attached.
We can't get Luka back.
Just to add context to the conversation, everyone. So this came out just on the 11th, so yesterday. This is from NBA Insiders on ESPN. Bobby Marks has a lot to do with this, obviously. Just for context, everyone, and I want to ask, does this change anything for you all? So he is eligible. Anthony Davis will be eligible to sign a 4-year, $275 million extension on August 6th. That will pay him $76 million at age 37. Without an extension, Davis could decline his $62.8 million player option and hit unrestricted free agency in 2027. So, Jordan, knowing that information, he's eligible for, again, $275 million this summer. If they don't extend him or if he doesn't like the terms, he can then play next year and walk. What would you do if you're the Dallas Mavericks, given that you have this player on the roster who is a top, when he's healthy, I think top 10, 12 player in the league, and he's one of the best defensive players and best post players in the NBA? Would you give him, he's going to ask for the max, would you give him the 275? How would you work that out?
I wouldn't give him the 275 right now. I would keep him on the roster though. Like, I'm keeping him until.
No, so that's what I'm saying. It's not till next summer. So he would have next summer you sign him or you don't sign him. Then he has 1 more year. So you either sign him and get a 4-year extension on top of that year.
So August 6th this
of
year.
Next year. Next year.
Of 26.
So not
of 26.
Yeah. So of 2026 August 6th, you can sign him to a 275 extension. But the problem is that if you don't sign him to an extension that he likes, he will not sign, and then he can just walk summer 2027.
The 26-27 season will be his last year.
Could be his last year in Mavericks if you don't sign him.
Yeah,
How would you handle that?
What we're saying.
I'm gonna handle it just like this. I'm not. First of all, he gonna be just. I'm gonna take the risk of him walking. I'm gonna just take the risk of him walking. But I'm going to keep him and Kyrie together. I'm going to keep him and Kyrie together because if it works out and he's playing good, we can come back to the table and always negotiate in good faith. Just bottom line, like that's just how I would handle it. I'm not committing to $75 million to him, and he's not healthy right now. Like he's not. He's not playing right now. Like, I'm just not going to do it. Or you can do it because any contract can be tradable, to be honest with you. Like, any contract, you can get offset for a motherfucker like Jerry Grant. Nobody wants that piece of shit. But as far as Anthony, and my bad, Jerry Grant, he's not a piece of shit. My bad.
Jeremy Grant.
He's not a piece of shit.
He's not Jerry Grant. Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant. He's not a piece of shit, but he's close to it. I'm talking about his contract wise. But as far as Anthony Davis,
being the best rotation player in the game, so he's actually been really good this year.
Yeah. As far as Anthony Davis, though, somebody will always take that risk. I promise you, somebody will take that risk. So if I have to pay him, if he say, "Well, I ain't gonna play," I'm all right. Fuck it. I'm gonna get off you though. I guarantee you, I'm getting off you.
275, chill, not chill. You're the AD stand up here, and you picked the Mavericks to go to the Western Conference Finals. So he's your Jason Tatum West. So would you pay him 275?
I watched the Warriors extend Jimmy Butler for $120 million over the next 2 years. So
2 years, 4 years, 275, brother.
But chill.
I'm not going that
Context,
far.
man.
No.
Context.
Hold on, Ben. Hold on, Ben.
No,
everybody, hold on. Chill.
I'm not going that. I'm not going that far. But what I do, back to reiterating my point, I do want to see what this group looks like. Now, what I'm not going to do is I'm not just going to let them walk out the front door, though. That's just awful to do that. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not just going to let them walk out the front door at the end of next season and whether we win it or lose it. No. I'm not doing that. But I do want to see what this group looks like. And if I feel like, because at any point I can move off of them. But I'm not just going to let him walk out the front door, and I'm not extending him for $275 million.
Remember, Chill, when you're arguing with superstars and you're deliberating contracting, everybody can attest to, it's really difficult in their mind. I'm still this level. He's a 25-10 player still through this point. Not paying me $275, there's no option. I'm not taking less than that. Remember, even Melo, his last year deal he had the Knicks, he took a 5-year instead of 129. He took a 5-year 124. Which was like a $5 million discount that he conceded on. So in this instance, do you think you can convince Anthony Davis to take anything less than $275?
Not in Dallas, I can't. No, not in Dallas.
So how what is that? $75 million a year?
So 275. Yeah. So it'll be let me see, 224.
Close to 275.
It'd be exactly 68.7.
68.7. So here's some fun math for you. Over the last 6 years, Anthony Davis is averaging 44 games played per year. That expected, if historical trends hold up with big men, is expected to go down. So you will pay $68 million for a player to expect to play around 38 to 40 games a year. That value cannot be understated. I love how we do the if healthy. Also, to the point of no contract can be moved. I will remind you, Joel Embiid's contract extension has not kicked in yet. And we are talking about medical retirement. So, yes, Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, we just went through this. We saw two of the biggest contracts ever stretched and waived in NBA history in the same offseason. I think right now, with the full appreciation of the CBA, with the full appreciation of the second apron restrictions, no team that is conscious, no team without an immediate championship need is signing Anthony Davis to that long-term deal through age 37. Jimmy Butler is a very, very specific example, Chill, that you gave, and that guarantee you that is context dependent on extending Steph's championship window and the inherent value that Steph brings to Golden State.
Is it ridiculous?
It's not Jimmy in a vacuum because Miami Heat didn't want to play that.
That's not what I was saying. That's not that.
Just for the sake of time, I want to give everybody also the examples of the trades so everybody can see in the audience. And then what we'll do here, y'all, we'll finish this AD conversation out.
Sure.
Do some more crunch time chats, and then we're going to get into the actual NBA Cup semifinals because I want to hear all your predictions on that. That way, the audience loves listening to all of your great content. First off, Penn, Chill, Jordan, that was a phenomenal segment. You all did a great job. Damo, twice today, you dropped some absolutely amazing takes today. So if this was first take, you would have a great A so far, Damo. Appreciate it. Great time today. So if we're looking at where we are right now and some of the AD trade proposals, Penn, I'm going to read through these, and then we'll get a little bit of a reaction. So this is from ESPN. The first trade proposal was the Pistons get Anthony Davis for Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, and Ron Holland. Group, how do y'all feel about that one?
Hell no. Why would I do that?
For who? If you're who?
The Mavericks. No, you're not finna give me no goddamn Tobias Harris and goddamn Jaden Ivey and Ron Holland. Ain't no way you give me that.
I don't hate the Jaden Ivey. Two young guys, Ivy and Holland. I don't hate that.
Tobias quietly,
because that's essentially what we're doing. That's essentially what we're doing. We're moving on with young guys, right? Tobias Harris, I think we can move him and put him in a separate package later on. But with Jaden Ivey, who's still a young guy, and Ron Holland, who's still a young guy, because you're moving off of Anthony Davis because you want to go younger, and you're starting over because you got Cooper Flagg. If I got Jaden Ivey and if I got Ron Holland, these are young guys that I'm moving on with. So
you got to pay Jaden Ivey though, Cho. Jaden Ivey is extension eligible.
Okay,
and it's worth noting that if he does well, with Dallas, he's a restricted free agent, and you're going to have to pay him the next contract. So we already seen his draft class start to get contract extensions. Paolo got a contract extension, same draft class. Chet got his contract extension. Keegan got his contract extension. Jaden Ivey don't have a contract extension.
But he's
So
not
right
gonna
now,
he's
to
not
me-
gonna be as much as those guys that you just named because of the fact that he's
number
been
one.
so injured or whatever it is.
What if he
You're not gonna
plays
pay him
super
as
well?
much.
But what if he plays super well?
That's
Because, I mean,
fine. You still don't have to pay him everything in the world based off that 1 year. You have to pay him something. That's you getting him off of a discount deal. If he has a great year, we're talking about a new Brunson deal, in my opinion. The first Brunson deal, not the second.
I think if he has a great year and he convinces enough people that he is actually the player that they thought he was at the draft, like the super speedy, bursty, lead initiator, combo scorer, whatever, I think he could command anywhere from 25 million up. So you're not exactly getting, you're not going to keep him.
That's
cheap.
getting him on the cheap. That's actually getting him on the cheap.
I think that's expensive for what Jaden Ivey has proven so far. You're buying on upside, but
Yeah,
I mean,
He
how
was
good do you
almost 19 a game last year before he broke his leg.
Give a shit
He was
less
close to
about
19 a game.
is he's restricted though, so
yes, he is restricted, so you will have a right to match any offer. But I mean, really, like I think these high lottery picks
was DeAndre Ayton, by the way.
Pardon?
The last offer sheet that anyone signed was DeAndre Ayton, which the Suns didn't match.
That is fair, but that's typically because teams like to take care of their guys before they hit restricted free agency.
Drago, do you want Jaden Ivey to go out and find out what his worth is and then match whatever deal? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think it's very unlikely that he gets any deal he's going to sign from another team because it's not really happening right now in the NBA. The restricted free agency, because of how it is that you have to shore up your cap for like 4 days, I think maybe it's 2, on Jaden Ivey, and then you can't go and try to sign someone else in case the Mavericks wouldn't match it. So
okay. Well, yeah. we'll get to the next one. So that's the first one, y'all. I don't hate that one. That's definitely not a huge return, but I do like Ivy and Ron Holland back there. The next one is one that I think is interesting, you all. So this would be a 5-team trade. This would be the Hawks get Anthony Davis, Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and Devin Carter. The Mavericks will get Zach LaVine, a 2026 first-round pick via the Warriors, top 14 protected, otherwise 232 second-round pick, 31-50, and 2027 first-round pick via the worst of the Bucks or Pelicans.
We getting jerked, yo. Dallas is getting jerked.
The Kings would get Trae Young and Luke Kennard. The Warriors would get Kristaps Porzingis. The Pistons get Doug McDermott and cash consideration. So the Hawks trade would be Anthony Davis, Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and Devin Carter. How do y'all feel about that trade?
It'd be good for the Hawks, for the Mavericks, getting trash again. I'm not getting nothing from Zach LaVine.
Do you wait? Do you see this?
Trash.
Come on, man.
He's headline by
Anthony Davis. We can do better than that, Swiper.
Wait, you get a worst? You get the worst between the Bucks and Pelicans?
This is a terrible deal for the Mavericks.
Yes, a terrible.
Zach LaVine is a great guard.
What are we talking about?
What's wrong with
I'm
losing Anthony Davis for Zach LaVine.
Damo, what'd you say?
If they're blowing it up, we just sat here for the whole damn segment talking about how much they need to just move off, think about the future. Okay, bet. Yep. You now get another first-round pick, top 4 protected, so anything from 5 down in 2027. You get what looks like it's going to be another 26 pick right outside the lottery, because I think the Warriors are going to be outside the lottery team. Now you add another pick. You add a pick for next year. You get a guy like Zach LaVine, who, again, can be moved down the line for anything. You're taking a loss. We just sat here and talked about Anthony Davis only playing 44 games. Anthony Davis, he's not going to be able to last. You're banking on this. It's already a loss here. So now you're just trying to get anything you can to build other assets or other prospects around Cooper Flagg and the other 2 rookies you get from a generational draft class, a draft class next year. And who knows who else we move in this? I don't know. I don't think that the Mavericks are jerked in this situation.
I think they jerked.
Okay, so wait. Stop right there, Damo. So let me make sure I'm getting this correct, Damo. So the Warriors' top 14 pick protected, which means that we're not getting a lottery pick if the Warriors make the playoffs. So now that means that leaves us at anywhere between 15 to whatever, or a 2. That's number 1. And then Milwaukee or the Pelicans next year, who you love, by the way, in Derek Queen and this kid Fears. You love those 2 guys. What you love in those 2 guys? What happens next year? I don't know. If the Pelicans end up to be good, and they end up with I don't know, the number 3 pick. Oh, I'm sorry, they end up bad, and they end up with the number 3 pick. We don't get that pick.
But then you get the Bucks pick.
It's the worst of the Bucks and Pelicans. It's a guarantee. You're still getting a pick. The point is getting a pick. When you don't have anything, getting something, getting in the draft is important.
So if both the
Desmond
Bucks,
Bane just went for 5 first-round picks.
Wait a minute.
There's
So if
no
both the
way
Bucks
it's
and
gonna
if both the Bucks and New
Not
Orleans miss
really,
the
but
playoffs,
kinda.
and they both end up with
Or
top
plus
3
one.
picks, we don't get any of them because they top 4 protected.
All right, next one, just to get through
Who's
this.
that guy next to that picture? It's kinda
Is
throwing
we
me
got the Raptors. I like this one. I looked at this one, thought this was very interesting. The Raptors get the
off.
best player.
Timothy.
The Raptors would get the best player they've had since Kawhi. The Raptors would get Anthony Davis and Tony Bradley. The Mavericks would get R.J. Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Jarris Walker, Ochai Agbaji, 2026 first-round pick via the Raptors, 2027 first-round pick via the Pacers, top 14 protected. So this one would be unprotected. And you would get R.J. Barrett, Jakob Jarris, and Ochai Agbaji. The Pacers would get, hold on, let me read to the trade. The Pacers would get Daniil Gafford, or Daniel Gafford, however you want to say that one, because Daniil Hunter, Daniel Gafford. Warriors would get, and then this is the next one. So you would get, the Pacers get Gafford, the Mavericks get R.J., Poeltl, Walker, Ochai, 2 first-round picks, 1 unprotected, and Anthony Davis and Tony Bradley to the Raptors. How do we feel about that one?
Love it. I love it for the Mavericks. I've not been mad at any of these trades for the Mavericks, in my opinion.
I think me and Penn think he's going to go for more than this, to be clear.
I'm saying this as a Raptor fan up here. See, I don't mind wearing the super fan tag here. I hate this. I hate this. I'm perfectly fine getting off all this
What's swaying you, Penn? What's the problem with this trade? What don't you like giving up?
The picks. What are we doing here? Like, okay, maybe with Anthony Davis, if healthy. I mean, we are getting off
1
RJ
unprotected.
For the guy who was just arguing about the value,
And a 2027 protected from the Pacers. So you got that pick in the Pascal trade, right?
No. That pick has already been traded back to the Pacers via the Pelicans. So we traded it to the Pelicans for Brandon Ingram. They traded it in the NBA Finals to the Pacers because they're idiots.
No, that was
yes. No, yes. The 2026 first round pick was traded.
Not the
so
to
the
make this work, they would have to throw a sweetener in. Okay, I hear you. But Anthony Davis and let's think about this. Scotty Barnes, Anthony Davis, Brandon, Emmanuel Quickley, Dick, with the rest of that roster, that'd be a really good team. They could win these.
That's his name, Jordan.
That'd be a really bad trade for the Remember
his name,
Brady.
Show me that trade one more time.
Be focused, please.
Yeah, Swiper. This ain't about the other team. Remember, it's about the Mavericks.
That's a great get for the Mavericks.
This is a home run trade for the Raptors. Unfortunately, I think it is a home run trade for the Raptors. I don't really care too much about the 2026 pick. We're going to be a playoff team. RJ Barrett is not Jakob Poeltl's contract is awful. I just want to throw that out there. He is not a top 10 center in the NBA right now. I don't see why the Mavericks do this. He's not.
Exactly.
He's not. The Raptors came out and said he's a top 10 center in the NBA. I think he's not even a top 20 center right now.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean you don't know why the Mavericks would do something like this? Again, this would be on the terms of what you're saying in terms of just moving on and preparing for the future.
Yeah, but these are not high value picks. These are not high value picks.
It's just about getting picks. You don't need it doesn't have to be high value if you don't have anything. You just need to acquire more assets. We just sat here and said they only have one 2026 pick, which is theirs. You need to just acquire assets however you can. We got to stop worrying about high value picks.
No, Damo, I understand what you're saying, and it's interesting because when you talk about basketball,
Drago, how do you fight that?
I hear a lot of
you telling me that Anthony Davis is damaged goods,
right? Because Sam Presti believes in taking multiple stabs at many draft picks. I'm saying if I'm trading a top 15 player, which I think most of us can agree Anthony Davis is, to a team that is desperately looking to make it to the finals this year, because they got Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Anthony Davis. That's the best big three in the Eastern Conference, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, if they're healthy. But the if they're healthy part scares me as a Raptor fan. I'm saying if I'm a Mavericks, I want at least one really quality asset coming back. I need a young player like Asar Thompson. I need Asar Thompson. I need a Cason Wallace. I need maybe not Cason Wallace. No, I need an Asar Thompson. I need a Jalen Johnson. I need something. I'm not getting Jalen Johnson now because he's ascended. But I need something big. Or I need a pick that is going to be a lottery pick this year, or
But
I need like
see,
unprotected going forward. Yo, Damo, you saw that trade that the Brooklyn Nets did with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, right? That deal killed
highway robbery,
killed the Nets, right?
And,
the same thing. You want the other teams risk, like you don't want these protected top 4 teams. You know what I mean? You be waiting for years for this shit to convey. Like there's protection on protection on protection. Like you be waiting for a while. So I need you to remove protections, at least get me the top 3 protected. That way, at least I could maybe get something out of it. I can get a 7th pick, 8th pick. You know,
they did just say you just said AD's value was in the gutter. So I mean, Asar Thompson,
and I will just say
Asar Thompson is
they're not in a situation.
What do you mean? That's you're not giving up a blue chip player in that deal for Anthony Davis. Asar's a blue chip. Damo, I want you to answer this one because you've been closely following the Warriors for some years now. So the Warriors would get Anthony Davis and Mason Plumlee. The Mavericks would get Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, 2026 first. Lakers get Buddy Hield. Hornets get Maxi Kleber, Dalton Kennett, and cash considerations. How do you feel about this one, Damo?
This is the least favorable trade in terms of all the ones I've seen. And I'm just speaking from the Mavericks point of view. This is probably my least liked trade. I just don't, coming off of AD getting Draymond. I mean, you know what? Now that I'm talking to myself about it, I lied. I actually like this deal. I love this. This is my second favorite deal. I love this.
That's not lying. No, that's just reconsidering. That's all it is.
I'm really thinking about it again. The position that the position that the Mavericks are in, you have again. You're getting another 2026 pick in a very loaded draft class. I'm going to do the air quotes for people. You also get a Draymond Green who is going to be clearly ushered into vet mode, pushing younger guys forward, helping Cooper Flagg, helping the 2 guys you're going to get in this draft. Cool. You also get Jonathan Kuminga, a guy who can be a very good piece that ages well next to the young guys. I mean, I'm not mad at this. Again, we're coming from the lens of we're done with Anthony Davis, and I'm viewing it as we need to get something for him rather than nothing. Because the way Penn was talking about AD in that last trade scenario, that's why teams end up in the situations that they're in with unmovable assets, because you ask for too much. You're trying to hustle everybody. And the problem is everyone looks at previous moves or looks at other deals and says, well, if Desmond Bane can go for 5 picks, if the Nets can get a generational amount of assets for their picks, I should be able to. You're not them. You have Anthony Davis, who you said yourself played 44 games, and if we're following the trends to be true, it's only going to decline from here. So Anthony Davis is damaged goods. You're looking at him as damaged goods, so you have to get whatever you can back. You cannot play
the desert, Damo.
You can't play, but you can't play that game. You're not in a position to play that game. You don't have draft assets. You can't. You have a damaged good.
No.
You have a depreciating
top
asset.
15 player, and you have 6 teams in the Eastern Conference who think they can make a finals run. That's the scenario. That's the whole scenario. Every team we're talking about right here are the teams I'm talking about. Atlanta, Toronto, Detroit. These are the teams that think realistically they're an Anthony Davis away. Why did Desmond Bane and Mikal Bridges go for what they went for? Precisely because the teams that traded for them thought they were maybe closer than they really were. Desmond Bane was considered as the solution to unlock Paolo and Franz, and you overpaid for it because that Memphis wasn't eager to move off of him.
All right,
Paul George went for all those picks because the Clippers were eager to sign Kawhi Leonard. This is leveraging another team's desperation to extract maximum value, is not playing hardball or whatever. It's just being smart.
Mars, and I want your comments on this next one, Capin. I actually think I like this one the most that we're about to see right here. So chill. Anthony Davis goes to the Spurs. Mavericks get Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Luke Cornett, 2026 second-round pick via the Jazz, 2028-29 second-round picks via the Bulls, and they extinguish a 2030 first-round swap right. So that means the Mavericks will get the rights back to their pick. So you get Harrison, Keldon, and Luke, 3 starting level players. Najee. And then the Bulls would get Najee Marshall to that trade. So 3 teams, basically you get role players here, and then Anthony Davis to the Spurs. How do y'all feel about that one?
I ain't trading Najee Marshall.
Mars, how you feel about that?
For who? Dallas?
Yes.
I just wouldn't trade Anthony Davis. This is why I'm being offered. I just wouldn't trade him.
I just didn't know Danny Ainge worked in San Antonio because they're just able to trade for whoever all-star, superstar level player and give nothing back in return. I didn't know that's how I was rocking in San Antonio. Jesus Christ. First De'Aaron Fox for a box of cookies, now Anthony Davis for a box of condoms. This is crazy.
Why condoms out of all things, though? Like, there's so many things you could have traded for. Why condoms?
I'm just thinking about what I grab when I'm at the store, man. My fault. I'm sorry. I gotta go to the store.
That's a bad combination right there.
A bad combination for a great night.
Of multiple children, by the way.
Swiper, can you go up to the Detroit one again?
I don't need more.
So, Penn, you seem to be kind of the Detroit one. Penn, you seem to think this is low, and I kind of agree with you. If you were the Pistons right now, and I said I need to get two first-round picks, would you give me that?
No, because we have Isaiah Stewart and we have Jalen Duren, and we really don't need to gamble on this. Like, I understand that it would kind of like shore up our chances a little bit, but I actually think it has the potential to disrupt what we're already doing. And we're this super young team, and we're building with all these young players. And I know we're not going to be able to pay all of them, but Anthony Davis is going to be hella expensive with Cade Cunningham on a supermax. That two players are a whole roster.
Which team would you, if you were a team, would you trade for Anthony Davis?
I would trade. Okay, let's see. Go down the Eastern Conference.
This is why I said earlier, playing devil's advocate will work against you. Because everything you said Anthony Davis was, now you're playing as a GM on the other team, and you're saying the exact same thing.
Sorry, what?
Everything that you said, why the Mavericks should get rid of him. Now, as a trade on the other team, now that you're not the Mavericks GM, you're saying the exact same thing.
So here are the teams that I think should potentially consider trading for him. The Atlanta Hawks are one team. The Chicago Bulls are the second team. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the third team. And I was about to say the Lakers are the fourth team. I can go with Denver Nuggets being the fourth team.
Yeah, neither one of those teams, to me, have anything to give up that the Mavericks would have.
That's just simply not true.
I think Chicago. If you could get Chicago draft picks, I would.
If Chicago would be willing to include Montas Buzelis, that is the lowest form of a blue chip prospect.
They wouldn't give that up.
Montas is not having a great season.
Hey, Swiper, what's the opposite of yes?
Exactly
what's the opposite of yes, Swiper?
Okay, so let's go through the.
Absolutely not. Man, hey, wait, hold on, wait. Oh, Aaron, that would be involving Aaron Gordon and the young players. But hold on, but Penn, could you seem to be low on? Do you think higher of blue chips on the Raptors than you do like Matas and Asar?
Hell no.
Okay, because Matas is not getting traded in that deal, brother. Like, that's a future star.
I didn't say he will. I said if they could get him, then that's a deal that I would be happy for in Dallas. Like we're talking about a lot of teams,
right? But the Bulls not giving that up.
Okay, well then they're not getting Anthony Davis.
Exactly, that's my point. That's what I was bringing up earlier.
Sounds like he just needs to stay in Dallas.
Or maybe if the Bulls were willing to give up Kobe White, if they're willing to give up Kobe White, say
that again, Mars. It sounds like Dallas. What?
He just needs to stay in Dallas. So you're not gonna get anything you want from him. You might as well keep him. Like, I don't know.
That's exactly my point. I have a this argument here. This is exactly my point. Everything that you guys are saying, why the Mavericks should trade him, is everything that somebody else that's going to trade for him and say, well,
everyone's simultaneously saying why Anthony Davis needs to be moved, ignoring that that's the reason why his trade value sucks. But then saying that you need to get good trade value back. Like it doesn't make sense. It sounds like the guy's untradeable at this point.
We're trying to work through this right now. Penn, so would you take, if I say Anthony Davis for Vucevic, Zach Collins to match the salary, and then I'd say Kobe White, and then I would also say, let's say your pick in 2026, unprotected, top 5 protected, and your top 5 protected pick in 2028, and I can't unprotect swap, a top 3 protected pick in 2030.
So top 3 first-round picks, Vucevic, who's looked lost as hell, and Zach Collins and Kobe White.
Yeah, top 5 protected the first 2 and top 3.
So I'm Chicago in this situation, and you're Dallas?
Yeah.
And you're giving me Anthony Davis? I would have to think about that.
Okay.
I really would.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. With a check, throw smoke, and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out here did raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. Yeah, this that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.